Hey, you guys, how are you?
Oh, how I've missed you, ladies. I'm back.
We missed you. Adam is back, everyone.
I missed 2 episodes. Ugh.
Yeah, little Adam. So there was some distraught followers, distraught fans of Adam.
That is the best compliment I've ever received in my entire life.
They were really, and it was funny because Sharon and I even said after we did the show, and you know this because Sharon and I did the show on our own for 5 or 6 years before Adam came along.
Yeah.
And it was funny because so we're used to being with each other, but when you weren't there, it was really weird.
What do we do? How do we talk to each other?
Yeah.
I am the glue that holds you two together.
You are the glue.
Yeah.
And Ginger Bear wanted to pass along a message. He actually left a crying emoji the first week you were gone. So Ginger Bear is a very happy person to have us back. And by the way, I'll let Sharon explain what's happening on the show. But at the end of the show, I have a special message for the two of you. So listener mail. So we'll get to it at the end.
Okay, cool.
Oh my gosh. Well, for today, we've got quite a bit to tackle because there's an artist that hasn't released a full album in a dozen years. So we're going to talk about the new album that we're going to get. That's a pretty big chunk of time for a full album. So we'll do that. We're also going to do some quick math to show just how shrewd a business person Cher is.
Mm-hmm.
And the forecast for the sequel to one of the action-packed movies of our favorite decade is good, but not great. And you know what? We're going to see Jerry Horner's name on a new series in the new year. So I figure we should probably start there. I mean, we are going to get to Kelly's trivia, and we do have a 90s rewind that we'll wrap things up with a little bit later on. But it's nice to, it's fun when we get to talk about the Spice Girls because we get excited about that. You know, whether it's like a Spice Girls tour or, you know, whether it's maybe it's them doing something on their own, which is nice. It's just kind of cool that we get to talk about them. So what's happening now is that Jerry Horner, who we know probably better within the Spice fold as Ginger.
I got a question. What was Jerry's last name before she married?
Halliwell.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now Mrs. Racetracks is yeah, Jerry Horner, happily married, is set to release a new series of children's adventure books. How cool is that?
I think it's going to be amazing because she has such a fun character in life. And so I can only imagine that will translate well to her literary career.
Agreed. And you know what? It's, I think it was the late 2000s, the first part of the 2000s, where she had written another collection of stories. But so this is not her first time as a writer, but it's interesting that that her talent and her creativity has been described as an extraordinary imagination.
Do you think it's really her that writes the stories, though?
I do, because why are they going to waste time saying she has an extraordinary imagination if, you know, because they would have to credit a ghostwriter or a collaborator. But
well, if the story's better and it sells the idea that Jerry's such a great writer.
Well, then we have to question every single thing we've ever been told in our lives.
I think we do. That's my point.
This
so
is
happy
not that
he's
show.
Back, everyone. We're so happy he's back.
This is a show where everything is true, Adam. Okay. And the 90s were real.
Okay. I've only seen half of it. I can't testify to that. I'll have to.
Yeah. And we're here to tell you that none of it was a lie.
Yeah.
But the fun thing about this new series of books is that the character is Rosie Frost. Sorry, I'm not giving it complete. It's Rosie Frost and the Falcon Queen.
Oh, there we go.
Love it.
How about that? The story follows an orphan called Rosie Frost who gets sent to a mystery island, which is home to both extraordinary teens and endangered species, which sometimes, depending on the group of teens you're dealing with, seem like species.
Yeah.
So they describe the character of Rosie Frost as the big-hearted hero we all need, which is kind of funny when you think of, like, we talk about Spice Girls tours and those reunion vibes, that people get excited, that people think like that's what we need right now, something happy. So it's neat that they can align those two thoughts with Jerry herself. She described the character of Rosie Frost as having lived in her heart for a long time, and this just feels like the right moment to introduce her to the world. Pretty cool.
That sounds exactly what a ghostwriter would write.
She's the legit.
She's no Flouncy McConnell.
No, she's not.
God, I forgot about Flancy. Wow.
Flouncy wears her velour tracksuit with her elastic waistband up to her ribs,
so that she has extra room to eat at buffets.
She just has to reach for her pocket right there. I'll just get my keys. They're right there.
Yeah,
under my sternum. So she's also hoping to inspire young readers across the globe with Rosie Frost and the Falcon Queen. And here's the good news, bad news. Good news, it's happening. Bad news, we'll have to wait a year. So next fall. Sure? Yeah.
Okay.
Fall of 2023. So certainly something to look forward to.
I guess that'll be released around the same time as Jada Pinkett Smith's memoir, so you can buy both.
Yeah. They were fighting over the same title.
Exactly. The Falcon Queen.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what's funny is when you said Falcon Queen, I was like, is that Madonna's nickname? Like, that sounds like that could be a Madonna nickname.
It could be.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Madonna. She's frightening me lately. And I'm a diehard Madonna fan from the.
Is it the grills? The grills
that are the grills. It's the gap in the grills. It's the cheek structure. There's been something done there. And her lips. The lips.
Did you talk about that TikTok she did? I think was it a week or 2 weeks ago?
I think we did talk about that in a sort of can't get that out of my head.
She's like, if I don't make this throw, I'm gay. And
no, we talked about that. I don't remember that.
And then she has that piece of laundry in her hands, and so if she doesn't throw the laundry in the basket, she's gay. And of course, she misses, and it's just.
I know I've talked about it. Maybe it wasn't with you guys.
And if it wasn't written at Madonna that proved it was a Madonna video, I would have never guessed it was Madonna. I could not recognize.
Do you think that she missed it on purpose?
Well, I think that was the whole thing. And then
she threw it on the other side of the room entirely.
Madonna officially coming out. I don't know.
She skirted the line for years, right? Like, is she not? Does she shop down both aisles? You know what I mean? Like, it's
wow. It's now it's that kind of show.
Yeah.
You go watch the video on TikTok.
Shopping down both aisles. Yeah.
Skirting is a maneuver in the lesbian world where, no, just kidding. I've been skirted. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what Madonna will tell us of her life in her next post.
Well, the bio is coming out, right? The biopic.
When's that?
I don't know. She's working on it. Yeah. And I think
she's been talking about that for years.
I think she's directing it though. Like, I think she's directing it. So,
well, that'll be cool. Cause when she's working in that milieu, she's on.
Oh, you know who it is? It's what's her face. The chick from Ozark is supposed to play her.
Yeah. What's her name?
I think she's an Emmy award-winning actress. The one who played, like, did you watch
Anna Delvey? Not the Anna Delvey one.
Oh, but it's the one who also played that Russian girl or that whatever.
That's it.
Anna Delvey.
No.
Inventing Anna.
Julia Garner. Inventing
Julia
Anna.
Garner.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anna Delvey.
Oh, is that the name of the character, Sharon?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys didn't watch that yet?
No.
I tried watching it. I hated it.
She's dislikable, that's for sure. But she's very quotable at the same time, where she'll look you up and down and go, "You look poor." And you're not sure if it's an actual insult or a possible compliment, but then you realize it's an insult, but you feel good about it. It's weird. Yeah. But she was really good in that role.
I'm pretty sure she's either been cast or almost to be cast as Madonna.
Wow.
I think she has been cast.
I think she has been.
About this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
that'll be that. That'll be great. By the way, we haven't discussed this yet. Not that we need to, but I just will quickly bring this up. Both Sharon and Adam know that I recently had dental surgery. And so I had a gum graft, and I have not had to like do too many facial maneuvers over the last 3 days, but you guys are making me laugh so much. Pain sears across every time.
Hey, you know what? Let's take us back a couple of years to the fall of 2019.
Oh yeah.
I remember being in quite a bit of pain.
Oh, I remember.
When I laughed, because my ribs felt like they were broken. They were just severely bruised, but it hurt to laugh, which made Kelly laugh. And look, I think you laugh too. Yeah. So
Now I'm
I'm
getting
not
it
sure
back
how
in-
bad I feel about it, Gil.
Yeah. Can you just quickly revisit, tell everyone how you felt? Because it was an epic story on the fall. So
Oh, it was awesome.
yeah.
Fun fact that I'm still dealing with the effects of that fall 3
Are
years
you?
later. Oh yeah. I got shoulder issues. I got a lower back situation. Super fun. Because the body is an interesting thing, right? The body heals itself and tries to repair, wounds. It doesn't do a good job. It does a temporary job. And then the temporary job, if you don't actually fix it, will lock in and create problems down the road. Here we are. Despite my best efforts, I thought I was doing okay. Anyways, so running out of the house because I wanted to put the recycle in the recycle bin, and the truck had passed our house. So I'm like, I'm just going to run across the street to my neighbor's. Totally fine with it. And another neighbor said, you can put that in ours. I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to, and I hit my foot on that, like the water valve in the grass. So hit it and went flying. I was airborne, kind of did a dive roll, I think. I don't know exactly, but I flipped on the ground and ended up staring at the sky going, what the bleep just happened? My neighbor came up and said, that was spectacular. I'm like, but I gotta get it over there. Anyways, she ended up grabbing all the stuff that was now everywhere and put it in the bin. Thankfully.
So generous of her.
Was it in the fall or spring, Sharon? Wasn't it in the fall?
No, it was the fall. The great fall of the fall of 2019. Catch the title. And it was fun because I felt like I was super adrenalized after. I'm like, I don't feel anything. This feels fine. And then I sneezed shortly after, and my rib popped. Like you heard this.
Oh,
like, oh my God. So days and days of sort of immobility came by that evening. And I had to go for an x-ray, and the x-ray tech was like, get up on the table. I'm like, all right, we'll see how this goes, because I don't know how it's going to go. And I had to like labor on the table, then lie down. It was awful. And nothing was broken.
For weeks after the move from lying to sitting, there's that one point of disaster pain, right?
Oh yeah. Because you have to figure out how to maneuver yourself to go from that to like, okay, here we go. Yeah. So I'm like, this is what happens to old people. And no offense to senior citizens. I just had this moment of like, what is happening? I'm not old. Old people fall, Anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm fine now, you guys. I think I'm, for the experience, I'm stronger in my trivia skills.
That's exactly. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Here we go.
Test it out.
90s now. Trivia.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
So Adam, there's a funny little story to this. So the 2 weeks that you were away, I kept meaning to like, before you produced the show, I kept meaning to send you a message saying, hey, trivia is at like 7 minutes into the show, so that you could put the sound effect. So the first week, Sharon and I had a whole discussion about how you were probably putting the sound effect as we spoke, and like it was underneath us right now, when in fact I never told you, so it wasn't. So there was like this whole discussion and then silence anyways. And then on the second week, we then discussed how I was supposed to tell you and there was silence, and then we're like, there'll probably be silence again unless I tell him, and then I didn't tell you either. So.
That's funny.
Because when I was looking at the wave files that you sent me, I didn't see like a specific dead air. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, maybe they didn't do trivia. Maybe. And I was in such a rush that I couldn't listen to the entire show. So
we needed you. That's what we did.
I listened to a few parts just to make sure everything was okay. So I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah, so there was a whole epic discussion about how I'm like, Adam's probably putting it in right now as we speak, and like all this stuff. So it's very good.
We needed to be better for the team, Adam. We failed
need to be better for the team. So here we are. This is under hobbies, toys, and games.
Okay.
Which #1 card game was taken over by Mattel in 1992? And for our listeners, Adam was -2 years old at that point.
I'm not sure.
Card game?
Question.
Yeah, which #1 card game was taken over by Mattel in 1992? So Mattel's the toy company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they, they must have taken it over and made it into like an official thing.
Sharon.
Yeah.
Uno.
You're right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I would have never got that.
I'm like, what other card game is there? Cards.
Go fish.
52 pickup.
Okay, what was this game? I'm not sure if it originated in the 90s, but I did play in the 90s. In French, it's called Mille Bornes.
Oui, that was actually in the 70s, I think.
Okay, what's the English name of that game?
Is that Rummy, Sharon?
I don't think there is one.
Oh no, okay.
It's called Mille Bornes. You know, you had like a emergency vehicle, flat tires.
Yeah.
And you would like put a red light on somebody so they would stop. Putting points on the board, and then do we need to get a green light to start getting more points on the board? No,
I'm pretty sure I played that in the 70s. Like I would have been like 10 or 11.
It might have been older. You're right. It was at my grandparents' place in the 90s. So there we go.
Never heard
your
of
grandmother. Is that it?
Adam, what was your guess? Did you have a guess for this? Like,
I was going for that game and I couldn't figure out the English name. So
okay, got it.
Yeah.
So then this next one is under pop culture. In which year did Starbucks begin serving Frappuccino blended beverages?
Adam.
Go, Adam.
It's got to be the late 90s. I'll go for 98, 99.
Incorrect.
Ugh.
Sharon?
I'm going to go with 94.
Ooh, no, 95.
Darn it.
I thought it would have been
so close.
And Adam, we did a trivia question last week that I said that I was going to ask you. So we did this already, but I wanted to see if you would have figured this out. Which 90s supermodel reportedly confessed that she would not wake up for less than $10,000 a day? So which 90s supermodel said, I will not get out of bed unless I get paid $10,000 a day?
Was it Tom Brady's girlfriend? Giselle
Bundchen?
Born in the 90s? No, she wasn't.
She was probably 12 years old then. So
yeah.
No.
I don't know.
She would have got up from bed a little.
She would have got up for like some I don't
her
know,
allowance.
probably like a juice. Like a juice.
I'm not sure if you know any model from the 90s.
Naomi. We both thought it was Naomi Campbell.
Okay.
But it was not.
But then I guessed right, didn't I?
You did. Linda Evangelista, who was like a Canadian superstar model.
Never heard of her.
Okay. She's beautiful.
She's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. Classic
so that's
look.
It. That's enough of trivia.
That's enough of that.
Yeah.
Well, get a load of this. Speaking of superpowers, Cher, as we know, has the staying power as an artist. Obviously, we've seen her thrive since the 60s. And now her financial thriving will continue if she gets the asking price for her Malibu home. Granted, financially, she is sound. Otherwise, this will just be a huge jackpot if she does get the asking price for her home. And the price tag is $85 million.
Wow.
Okay. Now here's the deal. She paid just about $3 million for this place back in 1989. And it seems to be, I guess, a seller's market. Cher is hoping that. What we're talking about here is, your standard manch.
Yeah.
You got your 7 bedrooms. You got your meditation room, your panic room, for all the emotions. The indoor outdoor gym, tennis court, an infinity pool. An infinity pool that just seems to go on forever.
Good job, Sharon.
Get it? And of course, the climate controlled room for her wigs. There's the incredible view of the Pacific Ocean too, but you got a climate controlled room for your wigs. For the wigs or for the whole mansion? What's that? Do the wigs look out the ocean in the it's a special view for the wigs, exactly.
I talked about this story on the air on the weekend, and I mentioned that I'm like, for that price they should at least throw in a pool boy.
Oh my gosh. Oh, no kidding. Now, let's say if we were, to be able to turn back time, then, and we went back to 2009 when she tried to sell this home last, we could have got a way better deal, because in 2009 she was asking $45 million, which sounds, when you compare it to $85 million, as a no-brainer. Let's buy it. Let's find $45 million. But I guess that much time, what is it, 13 years since 2009, that the home
inflation, Sharon,
has accrued $40 million. Sure it has. So we'll see. But, if you have an extra 85 mil hanging about and you want a spectacular view, for your room full of wigs.
Well, and you know what's interesting? I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know. We probably talk about it more on the pop station that I work for than maybe you guys do on Shum, but like, when we talk about, because I do a lot of celebrity real estate because I find it fascinating. So anytime there's a story about this, I usually, if it fits my realm of pop stars, I will, I'll talk about it. Sure. And even Cher kind of isn't on my station, but everybody knows her. So I talked about it. But whereas before, like if someone's like, you'd see a thing like, let's say Neil Patrick Harris selling his home for $3.5 million. Like that was like a big deal. But now more and more it's these mansions that are like 50, 60, 70, 80 million. So when I see like a 3.1 million thing, like I saw that recently, I forget who it was. I'm like, oh, it can't be that great.
Well, yeah. It's so weird how they've messed with our marbles that like, that seems like attainable. $3.5 million. What? I don't have that. We work in radio and podcasting.
You know what? We live in Canada, right? And the most money we can win at the lottery, and we could win it, I guess, this week is $70 million.
Yeah.
Even with that, we couldn't afford that.
The 70 million. I would never afford that mansion. I could never. It's like,
oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah. It's crazy.
We could rent a hotel for the week.
Yeah.
We could rent the wig
It's not
room.
during F1 festivities, Sharon. We probably couldn't afford it then either.
So if we were to go back to 1996 and think about the movie Twister, you guys see that movie?
I did.
Very exciting movie at that time.
Did you ever see that? I know you were young, but would you have seen it later?
Look at my face. Do I look like somebody who's seen it?
No, but you should, because it was actually quite good.
Watch this movie.
Philip Seymour Hoffman was in that movie.
Oh, is that the thing with the actual twisters?
The tornadoes.
They were storm chasers.
Oh, you know what? I might have seen it.
My favorite scene is the CGI cows blowing in the wind.
Yeah. Look at them go. Yeah.
Who produced that movie? Was it like Universal or something? I feel like I went to a theme park, or there was a Twister.
Oh, I think you're right.
There was. Yeah. At Disney. And outside the entrance to the ride or the experience at Disney was a cow.
Was there? That's amazing.
I know. Not a real cow, obviously, but maybe the one that they threw through the air.
Because I remember, like, in 96, like at the time, like that CGI was like, oh my God, it looks so real. Now you look at it, you start laughing because it's so funny. Like it's ridiculous.
It's like dream sequences in movies from the 70s when the screen went like, oh my gosh, wow, technology.
It was at Universal Studios in Florida in Orlando.
Yeah, that's it. Not
I've been on the ride. So yeah, I've seen part of the movies or some of the movie.
Yeah, it was worth watching.
Oh my God, it's such a great. It's like a fun. Like if you ever have like a cold and you have to stay home from work for 2 days, like watch 90s movies. Like
I have seen it. It's in that movie that I learned how they classify like twisters. Like,
the F1 and F2.
Yeah. So I've learned that in that movie. I have seen it.
Well, funny that you would use the word twisters because they're working on a sequel, and that would be the name of the sequel.
Twisters plural.
Twisters. Oh, I see what you did there.
I like that.
I like it too because it's sort of, there's no indication that that the title refers to present day conditions with climate change and stuff like that, but I can't imagine they wouldn't address that because twisters are weird weather systems are weird are not weird. Yes, they're weird are weird, but they're more common, right, with climate change and stuff like that. But as far as hard and fast details with the movie being or coming to light, there's not many of those hard and fast, locked in place sort of things. Now, when you think of the original, you think of Helen Hunt, you think of Carrie Elways and Philip Seymour Hoffman and Bill Paxton, both of whom Bill Paxton died also, right? And Philip Seymour Hoffman, they are resting in peace, so they won't be a part of the movie. And they're hoping that Helen Hunt will be, but there's nothing confirmed there either. So from what we've read, it seems that the only thing they have in place is the title for the sequel. Yeah. When maybe there's leftover posters from the first movie and they just have to write the letter S on it. Yeah. Twisters. We'll see.
I hope Helen Hunt would come back because I don't really see her in much these days. So it would be great to have her back.
No, the last thing I saw her in was the Mad About You reboot.
Oh, right.
Which.
Did it even last a season?
I think it did. It was so unsettling at one point. Will you watch it or can I tell you?
You can tell me. Yeah, I know.
They have they separate.
Really?
Yeah. And it's real in a way that's awkward to watch. Okay. So like it's TV. So you want everybody to be happy, even when they, have trouble or conflict or whatever, you want it to end well. And it got really real. And it was like, I wanted to watch the show because I wanted a happy ending. I want something good to watch. And it wasn't. I mean, the acting is great. They're great.
Yeah.
But it got really real.
Wow. I did not know that. I completely forgot there was a reboot. And then I was like, oh yeah, what happened to that thing?
Yeah. And you know what? You're optimistic because seeing all these familiar faces from the original show and it was.
And especially like, I know, like, we're on the other side of things as things are moving along, but like during pandemic, like I was watching a lot of stuff that used to make me happy.
Exactly.
To be happy while all the crazy was going on. And so, I don't like, that's why I'm happy the Connors are back and I'm happy they're doing their thing. And like, I mean, I'm sad that Roseanne screwed her own situation because it would have been cool to have her still as part of the show. But thankfully, all my other favorite characters are there. So, and like you said, Rory Metcalf is amazeballs. So
she's so good. Oh my gosh.
She really commits to it.
Yeah.
Like whatever she's asked to do, it's like full blown. She goes for it.
Exactly. So, that's Laurie Metcalf, man. She's a star. So, so leaving Twisters behind us, it's Sade that's working on new music for the first full album that'll come our way in 12 years.
Bananas.
She has recorded other music. There's been soundtrack songs and stuff like that, but for a full album experience, it's been 12 years. That's
2010.
Bananas.
Soldier of Love.
Crazy. So she's been working in a studio in France, and the producer said that, quote, you could feel the love that she and the band had for this place. So it's like a return to that and a return to getting this experience happening. What I don't remember is the date. So I apologize for that.
I'm not remembering it either.
I
will say though, that she like releases albums like every 10 years. I think this is the second time she's done this.
Wow.
And that speaks to how amazing you are that you can go away for 10 years.
And just do your thing and live your life and then come back when you want to.
Yeah. And
no
come
need
back
to retire.
And your fans are losing their minds, right? Like that they're coming back.
Well, yeah.
You know who's probably losing their mind like the most? Drake.
Who's that? Why?
Drake is a huge fan of Sade.
Really?
He has a tattoo of her.
Wow. I did not know that.
Huge fan of Sade.
So in retrospect, Sade's been around for a long time, and the pronunciation of her name to those of us in North America has always been like an invisible R in the middle of her name, Sade.
Yeah.
Do you think in retrospect that it's because it's been given to us in a British accent as Sade?
Maybe.
Well, and we've added the R?
Maybe.
I've never said it with the R.
Oh,
good. Sade.
Yeah.
That's how I've always said it.
Have we relied on the ignorant to determine how we pronounce her name?
Maybe.
Ah, God. And it's only hit me now.
Right.
Like, wait a minute. There's no R in her name. I'm not British. Maybe that's why I've said it that way.
Exactly. But I remember when I was like little, because that's when I first knew of her, I thought her name was Sade.
Of course.
Well, I've heard that on the radio.
People said that on the radio. My God.
That was really embarrassing. We know about In Excess.
Yeah.
I've heard here's New Sensation by Inks.
Oh man.
I've heard it all. I keep hearing Adam Levine.
Oh no.
Is that our friend on the Franco side or?
Yeah, the French people don't do their homework sometimes.
Okay.
And they probably don't want to ask. That's another big thing. People's egos get in the way.
And Sharon, have you had this? But I've had some of our French colleagues amazingly come in and ask me to pronounce, at least on 2 or 3 occasions.
That's good.
Should.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause then I remember them and they're like, est-ce que je te dérange? And I'm like, no, like, it's all good. And they came flying in and they're like, how do you say this? And then I, would tell them. I think one of them was Tovlo, I think.
Yep.
And I can't remember the other 2, but I remember being like, I told him like, that's really cool of you that you would come in. And even there's like, cause especially on my pop station, I think you're probably safe, Sharon, on rock, but there's a lot of crazy names that come our way.
Yeah.
And like, I go to YouTube and I try to find an interview with them for somebody to say their name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Because you lose some credibility.
Oh, you sound silly.
Yep.
And it's funny. I've heard, so Adam, you had good ones. You ready for this? And I think I've told Sharon this before. I used to work with someone who called her, and she'd been around for a while, by the way, Beyonce.
Oh,
no. Oh.
Come on now.
Oh.
If there's one name not to screw up, it's that one.
It's B.
Yeah.
Queen B.
Queen B.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, you guys ready for this?
Ready.
We're gonna do a 90s rewind that'll go back to 1992. Oh yeah, 30 years ago.
Wow.
And then going even further ago than that, when you think of KWS and their remake or redo of a 70s hit called Please Don't Go. Remember? It was like
heard that one.
It was a roller rink ballad by Casey and the Sunshine Band, but KWS made it a banger. Okay.
A banger.
Baby, please don't go. And then how about Baby, Baby, Baby with TLC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kelly's doing a little dance. Don't smile too much, Kelly. You don't want to hurt your mouth.
Yeah.
And speaking of mouths, we were talking about Madonna and her grills. Erotica.
Oh, yeah.
Was pretty happening around this time in 1992. And a little bit of humping and jumping going on. Bobby Brown's Humping Around. Coming out of erotic into humping around, a little less subtle. And Jump Around with House of Pain. Another couple of bangers from 1992. And easily the biggest song of that year that we were enjoying around this time, 30 years ago, from Boys to Men, End of the Road.
Oh.
Who couldn't put their fifth part harmony on that 4-part
I thought you were going to say who couldn't put their fist through the door on that one. I was like,
just love it so much. That's your 90s rewind.
Yeah, good job, Sharon.
Awesome,
so as promised, a couple of listener emails.
Yes.
So first of all, so there was lots of concern on our YouTube channel about Adam's absence from the show.
Yeah.
And so there was some messages about that. And then they morphed into how much people love the show. And,
nice.
and which is so, humbling to us. Like, we really appreciate that. And actually I want Sharon and Adam to go and read the comments specifically, because somebody said, I know we'll probably never meet, but I just want to know that you guys to know that listening to you every week feels like I'm catching up with good friends.
Ah,
that is
nice.
That was very sweet. And
Thank you.
just some amazing comments, as per usual, from Rachel and Carolyn. And so we just appreciate, and like Shane, by the way, Adam, you missed this too. Sharon had Shadow with her last week as our co-host.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Shane thought that was very cute, Kentucky Shane, and he asked if I would bring my 2 huskies to join in at some point.
Yeah.
And I said they would destroy my studio, so we will not be having them, but they appreciate the invitation.
What's this wire?
Yeah, exactly. So they won't make an appearance. But so on just on behalf of the team, like everyone who's listening or watching us right now, like thank you so much for these comments, because we do this every week and we don't we don't know who all is watching, and so we appreciate very much the support for all the work that we try to put in and do the show. So thank you.
Thanks you all,
guys. Yeah.
And 2 musical things for you to check out this week. Sam Smith released a remix with Disclosure for Unholy. Sharon, you need to check that. Adam, did you hear it already?
Song.
Have you heard it?
The remix, but I love that song. Okay.
Sharon, if you need a workout song, this is it. And then lastly, I listened to this on my house music show that I listen to, and there's a DJ producer called Ezel, E-Z-E-L, featuring Rona Ray. That's the vocalist, so R-O-N-A, and then the word Ray. The song is called I Don't Know Yet, or Don't Know Yet. Please listen to this song.
All right.
Make your day. It's a great house track.
You're going to need to send me a messenger about it.
I will. Yeah, but Adam, you have to listen to Disclosure remix of Unholy. It's bananas.
What's it called again? Don't Know Yet?
Don't Know Yet by Ezel and Rona Ray. And then the Sam Smith and Kim Petras song with Disclosure, Unholy.
Oh, is Kim Petras on Unholy?
Yeah.
I did not know she was on there.
She's the other vocalist. Yeah.
Cool. Still haven't gone over her song. Oh, what was it called? She talks about her her coconuts. There.
Oh.
That's the title of the song.
That sounds like a good way to end our show. Coconuts.
Thank you for bringing up your coconuts.
And for those watching us on YouTube, you could see me do the.
Yeah.
You could see me looking at my coconuts.
That is the dream.
Well, from our perspective, Adam, we're super happy to have you back.
We got to be back.
Yay! And for everybody else, like Kelly said, we appreciate the feedback, the communiques. We like that very much. And ultimately, we are super pleased to know that you're listening. So thank you very much for listening to 90s Now, still happening.